Good morning, everybody. What's up? Welcome back to the channel. So this is a sad video that I'm gonna have to bring to y'all this morning. But I want y'all to hear about it as soon as possible before you see it or hear about it on social media. So yesterday, I got a message and was informed that that Malo passed away. I don't really have a lot of details at this time. I spoke to a family member, and I'll be, hopefully I'll hear a little bit more later on today. But like I said, I wanted to bring y'all this ASAP. So he was in he was in Florida. And all I know really is he was in a coma, and he didn't really make it out of the coma, obviously. And he's no longer here. I ask you guys to please pray for, he has a young daughter, he has sons. Pray for his family, right? Y'all know how much Malo meant to me. Imagine how much he meant to those family members, right? And I'm gonna give y'all, for people that are maybe newer to the channel and don't really know who Malo is, I'll put a couple pictures in here right now so y'all can see who he is. And I'll explain to y'all my relationship with Malo, right? This is the shorthand version. And I'll go into depth and tell y'all know that he saved my life, right? Me and him spoke about it, but we never really got into detail. So I'll bring you that story here within the next couple days. And there's another situation also. Y'all know Bree, Alyssa, the young lady that was burned in the park. I seen a post from her mother. Unfortunately, she left Florida and she is on her way back to Kensington. This is addiction. This is what we deal with. When addiction grabs hold, sometimes we're stronger than addiction, sometimes we're not. It's just the way it is. You know, her mother, the young lady, for those that don't really know, the young lady was in Kensington and was burned alive, very close to not living, right? She's severely disfigured, a beautiful young lady, severely disfigured, very, very lucky to be alive, being cared for by her mother in Florida. So her mother was taking care of her, trying to get her back to health. But, addiction called and she answered. So know that prior to her answering, there was many times before that they called and for whatever reason, she just didn't pick up. So send prayers to her mother and also to Alyssa/Bree, so that hopefully maybe she could come to her senses or whatever it might be, and get out of there and get back home to her mother's care. I seen a post that her mother put up. Is extremely sad. I'll put it in this video just so y'all can see from a mother's point of view. That's what addiction does. A lot of times we think of it from the addict's point of view, but the people that are really hurting and really being drugged through the dirt are the family members, the mothers, the children, the siblings, the father, the children, all those. Those are truly the innocent bystanders that are being drugged through the dirt. Y'all can hear this from a mother's point of view. And I'm glad that her mother put it out there and expressed herself the way she did, because it's very well said, it's very eloquent, and you can see exactly what her mother was dealing with, is dealing with, and her concerns moving forward. Malo, like I said, 2 years ago, right before COVID came around, Malo, his family came from Florida, his son, and took him to Florida in hopes of getting Malo clean. Malo had been out on the streets, getting high, on and off for years, years. Malo is about 57, 58, right around there maybe, like mid-50s. So he'd been out there running the streets for years. And he'd get clean, and then he'd fall off the wagon and go back to the streets. I met Malo initially. Like I told y'all, he saved my life. If it wasn't for him, and I'm not talking about like I was ODing and Malo gave me some Narcan or something like that. That's not the situation. This was a street situation. He intervened, and if he would not have intervened, 100%, I would have been in my car with, my brains all over the dashboard. And I'll bring you out that story, soon. I know I told you about it before, but I never really touched on it, got into detail or spoke on it really. But I'll share that with y'all here next week or something. And me and Malo did time together. And those of y'all that know that when Malo came home from the penitentiary, he was clean for a little while, and he'd come out and help me when I'd do events in Kensington, cutting hair and giving back. He would come out and help because he was clean. And then he fell off the wagon. And when he fell far, and he fell hard, and he fell fast. And he was out there. He went from, doing good and looking good to not doing good and looking bad. And y'all would know every single time I would hit Kensington, he would literally be my first stop. Whether it would be to pick him up, make sure he ate, make sure he had on warm clothes, or I go to the hotel and I take him to the hotel with me. There's plenty of videos on here where you can see him in the hotel with me, him, and Barn, or me and him, and it didn't matter to me that, he was homeless. Didn't matter to me he was getting high. Didn't matter to me maybe his hygiene wasn't up to par. Maybe he hadn't had a shower in a week or two. That shit didn't matter. That was my homie. That was my friend. I had love for him and always wanted to make sure he was all right because he made sure I was all right, at one time. So when he left, I was happy. I was like, bet, he's going to get out of here. He needs to get out of Philly because Philly ain't going to do nothing but kill him. Thankfully, it didn't, but he went to Florida. And a lot of people lately have been asking on the channel, yo, how Malo doing? How Malo doing? And I think that's that energy where where those vibrations and God puts out those signals to people to ask about certain people because we know something's going on, right? Because a lot of people have been asking lately, how's Malo? Have you heard? And my tip was, no news is good news. I said, if I don't hear from him, then that means he's probably doing all right. If I hear, then that means something probably not going right. And I heard yesterday, and it's not right. So I know a lot of people are going to be like, Frank, we're praying for you. No, pray for his family, pray for his children, pray for them. I'll be 100% fine. Please, he has children, and he has close family. There's children out there that are having to deal with losing their father today. So pray for them also, and Alyssa / Bree for her mother, and for Bree also. I thank y'all for listening and for your prayers and support. Appreciate y'all. I hope everybody has a great day. And this is just a quick reminder of how powerful and cunning that addiction is, right? It took one man's life, right? And then in the same breath, and coming from the same place, they're both in Florida, has another young lady who was literally burned alive, has her coming back to the place where that happened for the drugs, right? So I thank y'all for tuning in. Remember to be kind, loving, and patient, and have a great day, y'all.